live. Trying out this new clamp from TSProf on the Xarilk systems. Let's find chat. Good, found the chat. Good. Okay, let's get these clamps removed because there is. Let's just say what the problem is with these. So these clamps are great. The system's perfect. Sometimes you have issues grabbing the knife because it has what they call a double distal taper. So it's tapered from the back of the spine to the edge, but it's also tapered from the pivot end to the tip. So it gets smaller down and out. So there's no flat surfaces. Like it's flat, but it's not flat like something could clamp this way. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to clamp it because there's angles all over it. But we're going to see how we can do with this, because this here, let's see if I can get it to show on video. Should be able to. What you can do is you can, we need tools. Good. Let's use these ones. All right, so you can turn the back one to open it apart, and then when you clamp the front clamps, you see how you can get an angled clamp that clamps more like, instead of like these that clamp flat, this one you can clamp it out like this and kind of match up the angles that you have. So you have an adjustment here that adjusts the back open, and then an adjustment here where you can clamp and get the angle that you need. So we are going to give this guy a go. So I'm going to do this because there is one thing with this clamp that I don't particularly like. I had it out a little earlier and I was messing with it, and I noticed that this screw here actually bites into this bottom aluminum a little bit, and there's little shavings coming off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of feeler gauge and kind of put it behind here so that whenever I tighten it down, it can't bite into the aluminum at all. It'll just skate around on that stainless. All right. I just explained that for not very many people, so I may have to explain it again in a little bit if anybody asks. Let's get this clamp off, get the Spyderco clamped up, and we will see how this new clamp works out, because they are running prototypes right now. The Xarilk company is, to have their own single clamp. I'm looking forward to that coming out. I asked the owner to give me a holler whenever it's ready. I'll be one of the first ones to get it to try it out, because I'm super excited to see, because I'm going to be honest with you, Xarilk is really giving TSProf a run for their money. TSProf is great stuff, but boy, is it freaking expensive. You get this clamp at retail, costs about as much as the whole Sharpener does. So, all right, let's get this guy on here. How's everybody doing today? All right, there we go. And get her centered up good. Good to me. Right. How's it going there, Mr. Mason? Okay. It does come with, it actually came with different size screws, longer and shorter ones. So I put the long back screw in, and I think they're the long front screws too. So Alright, let's get this guy clamped up. Alright, spread the back. Okay, loosen the front. Oh, this is going to work really good. Oh, I'm jazzed. Let's see if we can turn this to the side and get the good angle. So whenever I tighten the front down, it's going to, I'll turn it sideways whenever I get it clamped up. I can't get a good view on this. Alright, get it centered, put it tip. That's good. Wrong one. Second screw. Alright, it's actually really good. I'm going to take that. I like it. See if we can get a good picture of the grip on this thing. There we go. Good view. The clamp on it. That is fantastic. Alright, let's get the first stone. 285 Poltova resin bonded stone. Spray some water on it. Work. Right, good. Marker. Mark up the edge. We got about a 17-degree angle on here now. We're just going to keep it the same. Beautiful. I'm really happy with how solid that's clamped up there. All right, let's see what angle we got here. Way too high. That. Still too high. Set the compensator. Good. Go up just a tiny little bit. All right. We'll call that good. Yep, I'll call that good. Awesome. A bit more water. If anybody has any questions or whatnot about the sharpener, the stones, the knife, whatever, give me a holler in the chat. We're going to run through the full progression with this. We're going to go 285, 650, 1700, 6 micron, 1 micron strop. Should give us a nice polished edge. We can Draw a marker off the edge. That's good. We got a good burr already. Take it. Ready for a flip. Flip it. Bama fan, how's it going? We are using combination stones. So this 285 grit here is a resin bonded CBN stone. My 650 grit is a resin bonded diamond. And the 1700 grit that I'll be using is Edge Pro Diamond Matrix. And the strops that I have are made by Gritomatic, and they're just leather on aluminum, or I may use these balsa wood ones that I made myself here. And it's using homemade diamond emulsion that I made using 6 micron or 1 micron lapidary compound, which is a monocrystalline diamond, mixed with 91% isopropyl alcohol. Lets it go on, run over the whole surface, and then dry pretty rapidly. Within just a minute or less, it's already dry and ready to use. I had a crap edge on this. This was the first Spyderco I ever bought. I sharpened it one time, and that was when I put the little sharpening choil in here. Before I realized, you can get into the corner even with a guided sharpener like this. You just have to be kind of careful and deliberate about what you do in order to sharpen into that plunge grind. Let me grab one that I actually did. Here we go. X121. Let's see where I sharpened the whole way to the plunge. Right there. Brand new Spyderco will look like this, where the sharpened edge actually ends about a 1/16 of an inch or so. Yeah, about that 1/16 of an inch or so before the plunge, the sharpened edge actually ends. So it's actually really nice to be able to get in that corner there and get a fully sharpened edge out of it. I heard mixed opinions about the sharpener. Thinking about getting one, you should. It's a very good system. I did almost immediately replace the stones. The stones work just fine. I sharpened Rex 121. I have a video on it, actually. A previous video where I sharpened Rex 121 using Work Sharp Precision Adjust, using the 320, 600, and ceramic that came with it. Sharpened the Rex 121 with that. And I also sharpened it using the stones that came with the ones that come with the sharpener. So you get a 320, an 800, and a 2000 grit, which is pretty close to the progression that I'm using right here. I'm using a 285, 650, and 1700. That's pretty close to what you get with it. And I didn't wear them out. They're just fine. And I sharpened Rex 121 with it. I sharpened Maximet with it. I sharpened a bunch of stuff with it before I ended up getting the new stones. But within about 2 weeks or so, I upgraded the stones just to get them and have a better sharpening time. All right, let's check for burr the almost the entire length. And this tip a little bit. A little hit on the tip and then blend it. That's something that you can't pay too much attention to. making sure that if you spend a little bit of time on an area of a knife that you remember to go back and blend it so you don't end up with little flat spots, because you can kind of mess things up a little bit. I've definitely done it before. I actually did it with my 15V para. It looks a little bit wonky because of what I did. It's sitting right over here. Tip, a little wonky. See how it's kind of flat right there? That was my dumb asphalt. I mean, it's still, the knife's still fine, but it'll take a little while for me to get the good belly back on it that you're supposed to have on a para 3. Oh well, it is what it is. Sometimes you live and you learn. Oh, does the angle change when you flip the blade over? No, it does not. Um, it Whenever you're sharpening with the clamps that come with it, especially for a small knife like this, you'll have to put both clamps on one side, and then when you flip it over, people think that the angle is going to change, but it really doesn't. I do have an angle cube around here somewhere. Where the hell is the angle cube? I'm not sure where the angle cube is, but as long as you're within, a degree, you're not going to notice it. You're absolutely not going to notice it, even if it was off by a whole degree. But it wasn't. It was only, I think it was within a quarter of a degree when I checked it out. Do a little burr minimization here. I feel good burr flipping both sides. So we're going to do a trailing, couple passes there. Make sure it's a burr flip. Yep, burr flipped. Couple more edge trailing here. 1, 2. One pull. One pull. Now we're going to switch stones. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the 285 CBN. Move on to the 650 grit diamond. Oh, Obama fan. Hey, I appreciate the sub, buddy. I'm very close to getting to the monetization level where I can have like channel memberships and do cool things for people and stuff. Most likely it's going to be like, one-on-one sharpening where I can help people out, stuff like that. Because your channel membership, I think you should get something for it. And I greatly appreciate everybody's support. I do more than just knife sharpening on my channel too. I also pick locks. I'm a lock sporter, so I pick high security locks. And I'm also an amateur radio operator, so I plan on bringing some of that into the channel here eventually. It's just I figure that my channel should reflect and mirror me as a person. So I figure why not bring all my hobbies in on it. Have a good time. I think it'd be pretty cool. I actually got the idea from the guy who started me in lock picking. It was an amateur radio channel, the Smoking Ape, and he had gotten some lock picks and showed them off on his channel. I was like, shit, that's really cool. I remember picking locks when I was a kid using, what's it called? I want to get under this clamp just a tiny bit here. Good. So it doesn't take very long after you change grits to kind of cover up the scratch pattern from the previous grit, and I can already see that I've got a 650 scratch pattern on this already. So we're just going to make a couple passes here and start minimizing the burr out a little bit. So we'll do some edge trailing passes. Make sure that we're getting the burr flip good. Edge trailing passes. Good. One and two edge trailing, two forward passes, two edge trailing, two forward passes. We're lightening up on each of these passes just to, this is a Sage 5 lightweight. I really like the Sage 5. It's a good knife. I have the Sage 5 lightweight in this S30B. I have one in Rex 121. I have the regular G10 Sage 5 in Rex 121. I'm kind of a super steel nerd, as they say. A little bit of a goofball, but that's who I am. So it is what it is. One more set of burr minimization passes here, and I feel like we're doing pretty good. Actually, don't feel hardly any of a burr there. Maybe a little tiny bit. Wipe off the edge. Now we'll move on to the 1700 grit Edge Pro Diamond Matrix. I do suggest, I wanted to buy a different variety. That's why I got one CBN, one in Diamond. I got one from a different brand. I wanted to check them out, see what they were all about before I kind of like decided like these are the ones that I'm going to go with. So I do kind of prefer CBN over Diamond, but they both cut just fine. But here's the big thing here. You see this 1700 grit from Edge Pro. You got about 50 thousandths of good usable diamond abrasive on there. You got about 3 times that almost, well, 2.5 times that on the PDT made by Poltova. They're also marketed here in the United States under the USA Market brand. Yeah, USA Market. A little letter I got from the salesperson that sold these to me. But yeah, they work really good. I like them a lot. But you should definitely get the Poltova ones, the PDT or USA Market ones. You get better value for your money. So, you know what? I forgot something. Back in the back of the system here, there's what's called a stone compensator right here. What you do is you take the stone and you put it underneath this little thing here. You can't see it in this stupid video. Let's get back here. Here we go. The little thing that moves up and down. And basically, your first stone, you put it here, tighten it down, move your stone out, use it. And when you get your next stone, if it's different, has a different thickness, different brand, whatever, you just put it underneath here, set it to the new thickness, clamp it, and then you're good. It doesn't change the angle. It keeps your angles the same and consistent. So those first two PDTs are the same thickness, but this one here by Edge Pro is far thinner. So we'll use the stone compensator to set it. Now we're good to go. I'm glad I only did a couple passes. Oh yeah, that's what I get when I get talking and start forgetting stuff. There we go. Much more better. See if we can get a good mirror-ish edge on this thing. You see, 1700 grit. Look at all that metal it's still removing. Never looks like you're removing a ton of metal, but you definitely are. Okay. Cover up that scratch pattern, and then it's just burr minimization from that point. Good. All right, edge trailing. Now we're just going to keep flipping and lightening pressure just to make sure that we are minimizing this burr as much as we can before we go on to the strops. Do maybe 2 more rounds here, burr minimization, and then we'll move on to, I think I'm going to use these balsa strops. If anybody has any questions or whatever, I do a pretty decent amount of sharpening on my knives. I'm kind of a cardboard warrior when it comes to the household. I just basically shred all of the cardboard into tiny little pieces and throw them away. But we did get some cool knives this week, by the way. We got this on earlier, the mint green M4 Spyderco Para 3. That was a cool acquisition. The Rex 45. This is a Blade HQ exclusive. This is a GP Knives exclusive Rex 45 Manix 2 lightweight. And oh, this big boy here. This is Tenable. It's the like budget brand of concept knives. The Tenable Bomber. It is a monster chunkin knife, about 200 thou D2 blade stock, designed by Midgard's Messer. This is a knife brand that I'll never be able to afford one of their regular knives, but this is a pretty slick one that you can kind of get a big overbuilt knife for a good price. These things go about 60 bucks or so. They have some micarta ones coming out for like 70, but G10 D2 super overbuilt. You can flick it out. You can see if we can get the front flick. Probably not with this sticking out. I'm going to cut myself. I can't get it on. I can do it off screen, but I can't do it underneath the camera here. But you can do a front flick on it. Did it twice off camera, but you can reverse flick it here using the middle finger. You can thumb flick it. You can reverse flick it with the fuller. I kind of like getting it with the fuller with 2 fingers. Kind of makes it easier to get it out. Hitting 2 fingers on that fuller. But it's a pretty cool knife. Came in this week. Oh, did you stab anyone? No. Knives are for shredding cardboard in my universe. Alright, I'm feeling like we got this burr pretty well minimized. And we are going to move on to the strops now. Dropping locks on the floor. Alright, get that out of there. Let's move on to the 6 micron strop. Freshly loaded. Rubbing that diamond. Alright, almost did it again. Forgot to put the strop under the stone compensator to keep the angle the same. Now we're good to go. Oh, funnily, funny, not. More likely that my wife's going to get me one of these days. Collecting Spyderco knives like I do gets expensive after a while. No doubt about that. There is no burr remaining, so that just little bit that I just did with that diamond loaded balsa strop was enough to remove the burr that was left. Now we're just going to kind of polish up the edge a little bit. Put a little bit of water on here. We're going to wipe the blade off. We got some little bit of powdered metal dust stuck to the blade. Right. Just feeling good. All right, we're going to go to the 1 micron strop now. Diamond in. Good. I'm pretty sure these are the same thickness. Well, good. Now we're going to go with some 1 micron. The edge looks really nice. All right. Couple more seconds of strop time here, and then we are going to see if she is sharp. Little tip for anybody who uses a fixed angled system like this: if you ever are like, boy, I'm not sure if this edge is good, you can kind of take a marker and mark the blade where it is. There. That way, when you take the blade out and check it, see if it's sharp, you can put it back exactly where it is. If for some reason you're not happy with the edge that you have. There we go. They're out. Loosen up the tension on here. I'm really liking this new clamp. It's definitely a suggestion that I would suggest to anybody who buys a system and gets a clamp like this or has a TSProf to get something behind this screw here. Because this screw just kind of, it goes through the top one where it's threaded through and then hits the bottom clamp and just goes against it and screws against it and it pushes the back apart. Let's take this off here actually. 2 seconds to show everybody this because this is kind of important. Okay, so you screw this one here and it opens the back up, which allows you to, when you close the front, to get a good, instead of them closing flat, they'll close at an angle a little bit, which is good for Spyderco knives because they have this double distal taper, tapers from the back to the edge and from the pivot to the tip. So it allows you to do that, but because of that, you got to screw this back one in here. And as it skates across it, it was kind of cutting a little groove in the aluminum bottom. But since I put this little stainless steel piece of feeler gauge here, it'll stop cutting. So it'll just kind of skate on the steel. It'll make the clamp last a little longer. So, You can just take it out and set it aside or whatever. Maybe. You see? Actually, I need to use a thicker piece of feeler gauge. I popped right through that 5 thou thick piece. Let's use. There we go. Use a 30 thou. I don't think it's gonna pop through that one. I should have known better than to use. Oh, it's 7 thou thick. Popped right through it. 30 thou will be fine though. But anyway, that's pretty nifty little clamp there. Let's see if this knife is sharp. All right, paper. Put my pocket knives back in my pocket. All right, moment of truth. A good wave in there. Cutting good. That's good. We'll take some hair off. Certainly does. Check the other direction. Yep. That's it, baby. Got a good polished edge on it. Nice and even. I'll take it. Wipe that off a little better. Yeah, I'll take that. Mirror polish. That'll do. That'll do. I really like this new clamp. It's worth over a penny to get one. Check this one, make sure that it doesn't pop through like the last one. Oh yeah, it'll do. You see how you screw the clamp in the back and then the front, then you have a tapered angle in between the clamp jaws there, which allows you to clamp a knife that's tapered just like that. So what you do is you lift the back up till you have about the same angle you have on your knife, kind of eyeballing it, and slide her in there, tighten her down. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and you're ready to rock and roll. So, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, etc.? Not a lot of people watching, so it's actually probably kind of good on one that I'm trying to teach a person that's in the background watching. Very, very, very cool clamp, cool system. I like it a lot. You can sharpen literally anything with a fixed angle system like this. Rex 121, 70 HRC, no problem. Burns right through it. 15V, S30V like this is. What else have I sharpened on here? This S90V. I tested this one. This one's 61 HRC. CJRB. It cut this one like it wasn't even there hardly. What else have we cut on here? Micro Melt Maximet. Cuts it good. No chipping. Got a good Good shiny edge on this boy too. At 15B. Good polished edge on it as well. Really burns my ass that I screwed up that tip. Oh well. I'm planning on getting the lightweight of this anyway. I didn't think that I would like lightweights. All the lightweights that I've had before were like the Sage 5 or the Stretch 2 that had full steel liners to back them up. But the past 2 weeks I got those other two lightweights, Mannix and Rex 45 and the Blade HQ M4 Para. No liners, but they are good and solid. And they're growing on me. Let's just say that the linerless FRN lightweights that Spyderco is doing are growing on me. It's like they're on me like a bad habit. On me like a bad habit. Like STD. Can't get rid of them. Like them a lot. Anyway, if nobody has any questions, comments, or anything like that, I'll call her evening for the night. And anybody, I would appreciate to subscribe on the way out. Maybe a like on the video. Like I said, I do rock sports stuff. I have a live every Wednesday, so that's tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I just get on and pick high security locks like this one. This is an ASA Twin 6K black belt lock. That's how we rank locks on security. Black belt's as high as you can get. This is a black belt level 2. I had some other black belt ones around here. My desk here is a mess, but here's a good black belt one. It's a Miwa U9 black belt lever lock from Japan. Very cool lock. Anyway, I appreciate anybody who watched, subscribed, anything like that. Anyway, everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening. Hopefully I see you tomorrow for Rock Out with Your Lockout. That's my Wednesday live stream with me and a couple buddies. So anyway, everybody have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.